Welcome back to Cryptosaurus. I'm George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. Today, let's talk about what's going on with U.S. markets, what's coming this week, and two historic metrics that Bitcoin just shattered. And they're very, very, very good ones to shatter. So, let's talk about it and more. All right, let's do this. Welcome. The market bell has just rung. Today is actually looking pretty good. U.S. market last week, not so good, but it looks like it wants to start out pretty green today. So overall, that's pretty good. We do have a couple big things to look forward to later this week, including CPI. That's going to be a big one. Jobless claims, always big. And then consumer sentiment. But here's the thing about CPI this week. It's predicted that CPI is actually going to go up because we've been having so many huge dips month after month after month. I mean, we've been seeing inflation come down to 3% now for CPI. Now, this time around, it's predicted it may tick up a little bit to 3.3%. So if that's true, I don't know how the market is going to react, right? Last thing we want to see is inflation climb back up. So, yeah, so that's coming. That's going to be pretty big. Jobless claims every week. We get numbers. Last week, it came in below expectations, which is actually good, meaning unemployment has not gone up, has gone down. Overall jobs report in terms of the number of jobs added, it's still quite high, robust. So the U.S. economy is still doing okay. Obviously not as well as a lot of people want, I guess. It's still recovery mode, but overall things are looking good. But we'll see what the inflation report says. If inflation starts going back up, that's going to be big problems, right? Big problems. We don't want to see that. But as for Bitcoin, a lot of you guys may have noticed not a whole lot of volatility right now. Okay, very stagnant. But this is actually a good thing. Everyone that's getting bored, getting tired, getting, fudded out, right? They're about to miss a major move. Because if you look at Bitcoin's history, whenever you have a huge low volatility moment, that's when something big is about to happen. So today I mentioned two historic metrics broken. First one is a technical one. So the Bollinger Bands, okay, on the weekly scale, has never, ever been this close in recorded history for Bitcoin, okay? Why is that significant? So it's considered a squeeze, okay? The top range and bottom range has come together, and it's basically squeezing Bitcoin. And whenever you go all the way back to the very beginning, whenever you have this happen, whenever you have a squeeze, Bitcoin breaks out in a volatile way, okay? And it has never, ever been squeezed this much in history, in Bitcoin's entire history. So that's number one, okay? Some big move is about to happen. Now, you could argue the move could be to the downside, but I'm arguing with everything that's going on, this big move, of course, is to the upside. So that's number one. Bitcoin is being squeezed, okay? Squeezed. And this is very positive. This is, of course, measuring the fundamentals of Bitcoin. The long-term holders, okay, now hold roughly 14.6 million Bitcoins, okay? That is all-time high, roughly 75%, okay? Bitcoin long-term holder percentage has never been this high in Bitcoin's history. Never, ever has 75% of Bitcoin been held by long-term holders. So just think about that for a second. Even when Bitcoin was sub 1,000 or sub 10,000, okay, even during those low points when Bitcoin's price was carried by long-term holders and retail investors, the short-term holders have dumped, right? Even during those periods, has never been higher than now. And we are definitely much higher than those previous lows, right? We're recovering from our previous low at 16,000. People forget, beginning of the year, we were still at 16,000, right? So we're roughly 100% higher than that point, right? And despite the fact we have recovered so much, we're around 30,000, 75% is being held by long-term holders. Think about that, right? Just wait until FOMO kicks in as we get closer to having an event, as we get more catalysts to drive Bitcoin higher, right? There's just not that much supply. Supply is diminishing as holders continue to DCA, as institutions come in. It's really that simple, right? So this is also pretty damn good. Historic high, historic low for volatility, historic high for number of holders. You do the math, right? This is all going to add up to something big, a big move that's coming. And I've been saying that for a while, but it is coming. We're getting closer and closer and closer to the end of the year. It's shocking how fast time is moving, but we will see something huge happen soon. Before the end of the year, quite possibly. And then after that, we're going to see possibly a spot Bitcoin ETF get approved, maybe something else, maybe another lawsuit gets dismissed, right? Maybe Coinbase's lawsuit gets dismissed. There will be other catalysts, but we're getting closer and closer to the halving event, which is why so many people are bullish, including institutions. It's not, it's not a coincidence that you have like 8 major asset managers come out with their applications or submit their applications for Bitcoin spot ETF and now Ethereum ETFs, right? It's not a coincidence. They know if it gets approved right before the halving event, that's the best thing that can happen, because when FOMO kicks in, everyone's going to want a piece of those ETFs, right? So that's why so many people are bullish. Adam Black, who is kind of like a OG in the space, he believes that Bitcoin will reach $100,000 between now and the halving event. Roughly end of March, beginning of April, he believes that it will reach $100,000. Is that unreasonable? Well, I think that's pretty bullish. I don't think there's a lot of people that think Bitcoin could break through its previous high before the halving event. Right? I think most people, including myself, I think we'll get pretty close. I think we could definitely hit maybe like 50, 60, maybe even 70,000 by halving event, right? And then we shortly, a few months after that, we'll break through and go up, right? But he's very bullish, and so many others are too, including ARK, right? Cathie Wood, super bullish. Michael Saylor, of course, always bullish. Mike Novogratz, bullish. There's a lot of billionaires that are truly, really bullish on Bitcoin, right? Also, from another chart perspective, this Gussain channel, I think that's how you say it, Gussain channel, right? If you look at and go all the way back to this previous lows, right? There's only been 3 other times when Bitcoin went into the red and then turned green. And then what happened after it turned green? Pretty good things happen, okay? And we have just turned green. After being in the red for a very, very long time, basically a year, our drawdown this drawdown that we had was the biggest that we ever had in history, okay? The percentage, not the biggest, but in terms of the overall time length, this is actually the longest drawdown we ever had, okay? Which means if you survived, you can survive anything, okay? So finally, according to this, we have turned green. Again, another metric that shows that we are out from the bottom. We are in the next bull run. and greater days are coming, right? And this is another fancy chart that shows the same thing. Basically, as we move closer and closer to the halving event, we'll be trending upwards, right? That's the yellow that you see, the accumulation. And then afterwards, that's when we go into that parabolic phase, right? About a year, year and a half, a parabolic rise up. And who knows where Bitcoin will be by then, right? So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too. Sometimes the market is just boring. Sometimes it doesn't move. And in majority of cases, that's a good thing, right? When volatility is low and we are so strong, set at a certain level, that means a big move is coming. And I do think this next leg up is right around the corner. Outside of what I just said, there's still other news. For example, I saw this. You know, I talked about Catalyst. ARK's spot Bitcoin ETF is first in line. Okay. So the SEC has the first deadline is August 13th, which is actually by the end of this week. Okay. So they will either reject it or not reject it. And if they don't reject it, that means they're going to allow it to go through, but they may say, okay, we need more time, right? But we'll see what the SEC does. If the SEC will still want to continue to be dicks, Gary could just say, no, we're shutting it down and give some BS answer. But considering what has happened so far this year, I don't think that he's just going to do that. He may just say we need to extend it, right? But the furthest he can extend this for at least ARK's Bitcoin ETF is sometime in January. The other ones from BlackRock and Van Eyck and WiseTree, those are, they could be extended until March. But this one is 2 months ahead, right? And if this one gets approved, then all those are get approved. Because they're basically all the same thing. They're all using Coinbase as surveillance partner, and they're using Coinbase as a custody service, right? So basically, and they all have a ton of ETFs. They're all asset managers, right? So they know what they're doing. And if this one gets approved, then all of them will get approved. So this could be a huge cast. It's coming even this week, right? But I think SEC is probably going to push this as far as they can, all the way to January before they approve it. And that would be terrific because then all the other ones will get approved in March, right before the halving event. So if that happens, then Adam Back's prediction of 100,000 Bitcoin by the halving event can definitely come true, right? So that is something that's pretty good. Curve Finance, I talked about them getting hacked due to some vulnerability of their code. 73% of the hacked funds have been returned, which is good overall, I guess. But it still shows how vulnerable major DEX like Curve is, especially when the founder has put 40% of Curve down as collateral and borrowed $100 million against that, right? There was a lot of talks about how he may have been liquidated if Curve continued to drop in price. And others came in to buy Curve just to help him, right? That doesn't sound very decentralized, right? So overall, I don't know what he's going to do, but I guess this is good for people that lost their Curve, but still. A lot of these guys, they're risking it too much. Let's just put it that way. They're risking it way too much. And normally when you risk too much, it doesn't lead to good things. And then lastly, this is breaking news that just came out like minutes before my stream. PayPal has just launched their stablecoin out of nowhere. I don't think anyone expected it. There was no talks about them coming out with their own stablecoin, right? But we know PayPal wants to get into the space in a major way too. They do offer, they're like a mini crypto exchange. I don't believe they allow you to withdraw your crypto yet, but they certainly allow you to buy. So now they have this new one called PayPal USD, PYUSD, which could be used to buy crypto. And they want to make it so that their two products, Venmo and PayPal, right, you can transfer this PYUSD between them, right? And this is issued by Paxos, which is kind of interesting because according to SEC, stablecoins are securities. And this may have been in works for quite some time. Paxos was also sued for creating BUSD, right? So how come this could come out, through Paxos? I don't know. Maybe PayPal's just ignoring everything and just telling Paxos just go ahead. So it's kind of weird. But anyways, this is out. So overall, we'll see if it's just going to be used within PayPal or this will be adopted by the exchanges. Like, it'll be crazy if we get, like Coinbase supports USDC and USDT, right? But are they going to support PYUSD and bring out trading pairs for that? And maybe Binance and others will too. I don't know. It'll be quite interesting. So we'll see where this goes. All right. That is pretty much it. Overall, hey, the U.S. market is looking very strong. At least Dow is. NASDAQ, not so much. NASDAQ actually may flip to the red side. Tesla CFO Zach Kirkhorn steps down. That's not good. Whenever a major executive steps down, especially one that manages money, that's not good. Why is he leaving? It does not say. I don't know. It doesn't say. All right. A lot of Elon Tesla news. Here's one. Elon may require surgery, he says. For what? That maybe he shouldn't get in a fight with Mark. But I'm still looking forward to that. All right. Bitcoin is still holding at 29,000. Overall market cap, it really has not moved. A little bit slightly lower than last week, but overall it's been very stagnant. Volatility is very, very low. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Let's see if I missed anything. Scrolling down. Scrolling. Garth says both PayPal and Venmo allows withdrawals. That's good. They had people locked in before, but yeah. I don't know how many people saw my tweet about Cryptos R Us Plus, CRU Plus. I'm very excited about that. Working on that this week. And no, it's not my OnlyFans. But it's this new idea I had for quite some time. It's going to be a slow-growing idea. I'm not going to share what it is. But I think a lot of you guys will enjoy it. We'll see. When you partner with a project that has partners Web2 businesses, well, I don't think you know what Cryptos R Us Plus is, but if there's any good projects, love to learn about it. Andrew, you're welcome. That's what I try to do. Keep people focused, encouraged, and looking towards the future. Zach, I would not want to make my Jordan card NFT available through VeChain. Um, it's mine, and I don't want to sell any any portion of it. It's a nice card. I actually had my friend's really good huge into cards. He just picked it up from the Nationals, and I have all these cards. I had like all these 2017 through 2022 cards that are now like worthless. I had stacks and stacks and stacks of graded ones. Basically, I just traded all for that one card. So now I don't have any of the bad cards anymore. So, and I think, um, and it's good for him because he could sell off all those. Yeah, Nasdaq is about to turn red. Not sure why. Apple today's red. Tesla's red. What about Coinbase? Coinbase is in red. Yeah, today tech is not doing very well. Julio, appreciate that. Let's see. Any good movers today? Sheep was doing well over the weekend. They're a little bit weaker today, but still up for the week. It doesn't look like there's any big movers today. Mostly red. Dash out of nowhere. I can't even believe Dash is still in the top 100. Wow. TJ Limitless. I came back last week. I was streaming last week. So many people thought I was still on vacation. But yeah, I've been back for a few days. I need a vacation from my vacation, so I'm glad on the weekends I'm able to recover a little bit. But yeah, that was a rough trip. This will be absolutely huge. If we get approval this week on this, which I don't think will happen, there's a very small sliver of chance that this is approved by the end of this week. I think it'll be extended. But if we get a rejection, like a complete rejection saying no, that would be bad. But I don't think they could do that because there's just too much pressure. There's no legitimate reason for SEC to deny a spot Bitcoin ETF other than Gary being spiteful. What should I do to prepare for the next bull run, and what should I do in a Black Swan event? The same thing. Just HODL and DCA in either case. In a Black Swan event, you don't want to panic sell. You don't want to dump when things are dumping. All you want to do is stay focused and not panic and DCA. It's the same thing for the next bull run. If we don't have a Black Swan event and we're going to continue to trend higher, it's the same thing. As long as Bitcoin is still below its previous high, it's a good buy. And same thing with all the previous projects that are still down 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. A lot of them will recover. So the strategy is the same. You just hold on DCA. Jerry says I moved Ethereum from PayPal yesterday. That's good. I'm glad to see PayPal allow that. I'm not, obviously I have not bought crypto on PayPal, but it's a huge powerhouse. I'm not a fan of PayPal at all. It's a necessary evil in some cases, but it's just, I would stay away from it. But it's good that they allow people to withdraw their crypto. I need Lego BTC. They're part of Cryptos R Us Plus. There may be some involvement with Lego, so I'll just throw that out there. Maybe though, I don't know. It's yeah, it's gonna be good. I think you guys will enjoy it. I just had to make sure it's good. Elon is having some slight health issues. Do you think Tesla and SpaceX will survive without him? To be honest, no. I've said this to my friend for years, and I still think it's the case. People buy Tesla, okay? Why Tesla stock is so high is due to Elon alone. No one else can name any other executive from Tesla. Can any of you guys name any other executive from Tesla? And the answer is no. No one cares. No one knows of anyone else at Tesla. People only know about Elon. If Elon one day gets hit by a bus or he has health issues and he has to step down, Tesla stock will crash 50%. And Tesla and SpaceX, I don't think anyone thinks SpaceX is going to do anything innovative or cool or continue down this path without Elon. So both of those companies are where they are because of Elon. I don't think there's any other company on the planet that is as dependent as Tesla and SpaceX is in terms of like the one guy that runs everything, right? No other company is as dependent as Tesla or SpaceX. So hopefully this health issue thing is not real, but I just saw this. Receive an MRI of his neck and upper back. I mean, why is this even being reported? A lot of people have neck issues or back issues and they get an MRI. I mean, that's just kind of causing FUD, right? Unless he specifically comes out and he's like, I have neck problems and I need to step away or something. Unless he declares something like that, this could be just like nothing. Maybe he just needs to go to a PT and work on it, right? So I don't know about this, but this is somewhat concerning. A big tech company keep losing its CFOs. That's never a good look. People are saying it's because he doesn't want to fight Zuck. He's the one that's pushing it. Zuck didn't know if he was joking or not, and he's like, I'm 100% serious. I don't know. Everyone's talking about Jake Paul defeating Nate Diaz. I guess it's a pretty good accomplishment. But still, Nate Diaz is not a boxer in his 40s. So I don't know if that was actually a real fight, but still, it's good for him. And I'm hearing his brother, Logan Paul, is doing crazy things in the WWE. Like he's gonna be the guy for the future of WWE. So both of the Paul brothers seem to be like doing very well right now, outside of crypto news. If the market remains boring, what do you suggest to maintain interest and avoid losing faith? I can't convince you of that. I can't convince you of your faith. You have to find your own ways to keep yourself motivated and interest high, right? I can only do what I can, which is to be bullish and concentrate on what I think are bullish events, what to look forward to, what's coming. But if you can't be convinced, then I don't know. You gotta figure out a way, right? Part of Cryptos R Us Plus is also my way to help bring interest back in this space. But it's gonna be slow moving. I know a lot of people won't like it, but it's gonna build up into something greater. It's just gonna take time. Go to the gym before the next bull run. Well, I've been doing that. Hasn't helped much. But yeah. Do you have to pay for CRU Plus? No. I think people got confused because I know all the streaming services have Plus and a subscription, and maybe some people think that this has something to do with some subscription program. Actually, it's not. It's nothing to do with subscription. You don't have to pay for it. So it's coming. And I'm going to work on it this week. And hopefully I can get it out by next week. Scott, that's actually that would be pretty hilarious if both Zuck and Elon Neuralink themselves and have a fight in the metaverse. That would actually be pretty good. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall, it's a boring day. I know. Bitcoin's not moving. Crypto's not moving. NASDAQ is turning red today, so that's no good. But two historic metrics broken. Number one, we have this squeeze. We have never been this squeezed before, ever, in the history of Bitcoin. That means something big is about to happen. And we have long-term holders at a historic high. 75% of Bitcoin being held by long-term holders. These are two historic metrics broken, and they're really good. Really, really good. But we have other good things coming. Stay strong, stay focused, my friends. Boring, low volatility is actually a good thing. Okay? So, stay focused, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.